Hey guys, what is going on? So I wanted to talk about a new fragrance purchase that I got yesterday. I want to give my first impressions, and it's a very controversial one, which is Black Tie by Fragrance One. So obviously this is an expensive fragrance, and I think that's kind of what initially put me off to it. So I saw the brand, I saw the release of it, and I figured, that would be something that I want to try. And then I saw the price. And obviously that, was a little bit off-putting, and I think that's what it is for most people. Also, a lot of people really don't like, Jeremy Fragrance, who's, this is his company. And for me, I don't really have an opinion on him one way or the other. He's just a guy doing his own thing. But I did want to try it. I can't lie. I wanted to try it. And when I kind of realized that a lot of people were not even going to consider it, either A, due to Jeremy himself, or B, because of the price, I think it made it a little bit more intriguing for me because I wanted something a little bit more unique. Now, the actual scent of it is kind of unique, but at the end of the day, I figured something that nobody is going to wear makes it, something that is more intriguing to me, because kind of the fragrances that I was wearing when I was kind of growing up, and what initially got me liking them, they're super, super common now. And I didn't know that. I just kind of figured, hey, I'm probably one of the only people my age wearing this kind of stuff. So I just kind of stuck with it. I didn't get into the whole fragrance world. And now that I'm older, I feel like they're so generic, not necessarily the scent themselves, but just the fact that everybody owns them. So I figured I want to get something just that nobody would have tried, and even if it's pretty similar to other things, maybe get a unique twist. So that's why I got this, and honestly, at the end of the day, I just wanted to try it, and I kept thinking about it, and there's a bundle that you can get where you can, get this and a variety of other things, depending on if you want to try samples or whatever else, and it makes it a little bit more affordable. So I figured, I've spent money on a lot of other things that I don't really use that much, especially fragrances, so I figured it would be, just another one of those, so I ended up getting it. But first impressions, a lot of people talk about the packaging and stuff like that and how it's kind of cheap. Now, this one is like a matte black type of thing as opposed to the glossy one. But yeah, I mean, it's really not super nice. I do like the matte black aspect of it, but other than that, it's just very basic. This cap isn't, not too great or anything like that. When you spray it, it is actually quite powerful. And so that's kind of a nice surprise. The only thing is that it is an extremely strong scent. So I feel like it's really hard to really get multiple sprays because I just kind of go, on either side, and I felt like that was, pretty normal. And with this, it was just very kind of overpowering. So this is one where, the 100 milliliter, or, even if you were to get a sample size, it could probably last you quite a long time, just considering how strong it is. So that can be seen as a positive or a negative. Now, in terms of the opening, it is, very kind of citrusy. It is orange. It's orange oil, and I think it's like mandarin. And I really, really like this opening. So when you smell it initially, this kind of smell right off the bottle is basically what it does end up smelling like in the dry down. But in the opening, it is just so, I really, really like it. It's one of my favorite openings. It might be my favorite, but I don't know if I'd go that far, but it's definitely up there. And I was like super pleasantly surprised because I figured, I didn't know if I was going to like it or not. Opened up and it was really good. Then it dries down pretty quickly, and then it just kind of gets to that same, level that it is when you're smelling the bottle here. And, a lot of people pick up on a leathery type of scent, and apparently that's the Gaiac wood in there. So you get that woody scent, a little bit of leather in there. And honestly, it's the way that I kind of perceive it, it smells like a certain lotion, and I don't know like which lotion. Obviously, lotions are scented, but it's one that I'm familiar with from when I was younger, and I can't really put my finger on which one it is. But that's all I'm really like smelling, and it does smell really good. And strangely enough, even though it was probably like a feminine lotion, it does smell very masculine, very strong, and very assertive. But I just keep getting that kind of lotion scent. So it's one of those things where I've had fragrances similar to this where, the initial, maybe it's the opening or maybe it's the dry down kind of puts me off, and then I grow to like it over time. And I think maybe that's what this could be. But initially, opening is very surprisingly good. And then the dry down, I think is unique. I think it smells good, but it also just kind of gives me that lotion vibe. And I also just probably sprayed too much because I felt like this is probably the strongest fragrance I've ever used. So it's a little overpowering for me. Definitely something that you want to go maybe one possibly 2 sprays. But I mean, if you're doing more than that, I don't know how many sprays most people use, but I'm usually going like 3, 2 or 3. And so to go with 2 could be a little bit excessive. 1 spray I think is enough. But this one is honestly just, right off the bat, surprisingly good, but then it's pretty unique in the dry down. But at the end of the day, it's just kind of gonna have that like leathery, I mean, I guess it is the Gaiac wood. I'm not familiar with that from anything else, but definitely a unique scent. Again, I'm getting that lotiony vibe, so I'm not in love with it. I think this is something where I would rarely use, and I would only use like 1 spray. So this thing is gonna last me like an eternity. But as far as like, is it worth it for the price? My initial thing would be, even with the discount, I would say no. But I do think that it is unique enough, just 1, because I've never smelt anything that kind of has this combination of things. And 2, I also just think the fact that nobody's going to buy it is pretty intriguing. And so you could kind of be unique in that aspect. But it's very strong, very powerful. This thing is going to last you forever. If you do get 100 ml, or even if you get the sample size, it's probably going to last you quite a long time. If that's just something that you want to try, I wouldn't say I would recommend it right off the bat, but if this is something that I end up liking, I will go and, make an update review on that. But I do think that off the bat, a little bit disappointed for sure, but at the end of the day, like, I wasn't expecting to love it, and I have a lot of fragrances that I do like, and so this is just some experimental thing that I just wanted to say that I've been able to try. And this is just something that, I'm happy I got it, but I also am a little bit disappointed. I don't think it's worth the price, especially at full price. But let's be real, nobody's probably going to end up paying that. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I'll keep you updated, and I'll talk to you soon.